Welcome to Integrating Healing and Embodiment class. I'm so touched to have you here and proud of you for diving more into your healing and learning how you can really heal beyond your sessions with me or any other healer that you see. I am Natasha Rose. I'm an energy healer, holistic counsellor, feminine embodiment coach and mentor, and I am currently doing Celtic shamanism so that I can bring more healing to you. This session is all about integrating your healing and embodiment at home. So what are we going to cover today in this class? We're going to cover why healing, why would you get healing, what is healing for. We're going to cover why we need integration after we have healing, what is embodiment and why and how we do embodiment, and we're going to discuss how to integrate that healing and embodiment at home. So why do we get healing? We get healing because our emotions are a bit unstable, they might be very erratic, we might be stuck in an emotion. We could be stuck feeling quite anxious or stuck feeling quite depressed. So we get healing to help balance and soothe our emotions. We get healing when we're feeling burnt out. When we're extremely fatigued, we get healing to help us to feel more energetic and energized in our life force. We get healing from trauma. That could be trauma of somebody passing. It could be trauma from losing a job. We get healing for physical trauma. We get healing for any kind of mind, body, spirit trauma that happens within our lives. And this can go back right into our childhood. We get healing for generational patterns. There are generational patterns that we carry on, and sometimes it's our job to stop that pattern from happening again further into generations. We can get healings to rewrite stories and beliefs that block us. For self-care and nurturing, sometimes we just really want to have a really nice healing session. We get healing done to connect with ourselves, and we get it done to remove energy blocks if it's for energy healing. What is healing? There are different types of healing, right? We could be talking about physical healing, healing a broken bone, healing digestive issues, healing reproductive issues. We can be talking about like nurturing healing, so getting massages. Things can help with healing in acupuncture, acupressure, physiotherapy, chiropractor, doctors. There's so many different types of healing. For this purpose, we're going to be talking about the healing that I work with, which is energy healing and mind-body connection and spirit. We get healing for personal development as well, which comes into the mind-body connection in the work that I do. And in the work that I do with women, it's very much energy-based. We have different energy bodies, and the further out the energy is about 3 meters can be out from us. Sometimes we bring that energy field right in and it's really close, so we have to bring that back out. But because our energy field is out so far, we can be picking up stuff from other people very easily within our environment, wherever we're going. So we do energy healing through that energy field. And when we have something that happens out here, if we're not healing it, we can bring it in to each layer of energetic body till eventually it will manifest into our physical body, meaning we can then manifest emotions or traumatic events that are more of an emotional traumatic event. So say somebody passing, that's more of an emotional traumatic event. We can bring that from the emotional body and manifest it into our physical body, causing pain, illness, niggly feelings. We can manifest a lot of grief and anger in our chest. We can manifest things more in our left side or our right side, depending on if we are balanced in our masculine and feminine energy. There are so many different things that can manifest right into our physical body, and if we're not healing that energetic layer and the energetic bodies, it can cause quite a lot of havoc in our lives. For instance, women, we tend to be so disconnected from our bodies. We're kind of like from here up, and we're so disconnected from our bodies that we start to create physical problems. We start to become disconnected and we create issues with our reproductive system. Maybe we have trouble having babies, maybe we have horrific periods, maybe we don't even have periods, they've skipped and they've gone, they've disappeared. It can all manifest, and I truly believe that this is because women, we are so disconnected from being in our bodies, so disconnected from our sacred sexuality, that it's now coming through in our generations as physical issues. So emotion is energy in motion. That's all it is. It's an energy that's you're feeling, you might be feeling anxious, so it's got that racing feeling, and it feels very physical, but it's also an energy, and we can clear that energy through shamanic healing, through energy healing, through holistic counseling, therapy practices. We can clear that so we can become relaxed. We can step into a rest and digest nervous system, so we're not in a fight and flight nervous system. We can sit in that and relax and rest. But what happens when we leave the healing and we're no longer with our therapist? Can we continue to keep that feeling, or does it slowly creep back in because we're not integrating? Yes, it may have been cleared. Yes, you may feel amazing at the end of the session, but if you're not doing things to integrate at home, then it's just going to happen again, because the same environment, the same situation, the same relationships, the same food and diet, whatever is causing this problem happening from that outside, and that energetic outside energy bodies is going to just come straight back into the physical. So that's why we really need integration. So the integration is allowing that energy that we cleared to keep moving. Keep moving it out, keep moving it out, keep moving it out, keep clearing it in your own time, in your own space. And it's being allowed to let that move. So sometimes during a healing session, you might not feel anything, and then after, and you go home, things can start to shift. You might find things are happening in your life that are making things a little bit more difficult, or you might find that an emotion, maybe some deep sadness comes up after you've had a healing, and you are so sad after the healing, and you're just like, I've just had energy healing and holistic counseling, why is this happening? I should be feeling amazing. And this is because we've unblocked something, and so it's going to come up even more, especially if it's deep-seated into your body and it has been there for a long time. sometimes things can come up that we're not even aware that was there. And it's nothing to be scared of. It's what happens. It's just something that is ready to be cleared. You're at a point in your life, in your healing journey, that you're ready to clear that. So it just comes up and out. So what that might look like is you might find that a couple of days after a healing session, you might be breaking down in tears, and instead of, I won't cry, I'm fine, and suppressing, pushing it down, I'm fine, I'm good, there's nothing wrong, and pushing it and suppressing it, instead of doing that after your healing, you need to allow yourself to express it. Allow that energy to move, because emotion is energy in motion. So allowing that energy to move, allowing those tears to come out, allowing sound to come out, whatever needs to happen, we need to allow that to happen without feeling shame, like without judging really. So anything to do with judging yourself that's going to allow yourself to express it, we need to be able to do it so that we can just get it out of the system. So to integrate it at home, you need an embodiment practice. Instead of putting all of the attention out onto everybody else after a healing, or when something comes up after a healing, instead of going, oh, I don't have time for this, I don't have time to feel this, and going and doing something else, like keeping yourself busy by cleaning the house or watching TV or opening a bottle of wine or eating food or going and having a smoke, whatever it is that is that crutch that allows you to mask and hide behind so that you're not feeling, and you can stay busy in the mind so that you don't acknowledge what is happening and what is coming up in the body. We are not going to be doing that. We're going to be embodying. So instead of being out here doing things, focusing on other things, we're going to bring it in. Bring that focus into the body. Embody what is happening. Embody the emotion, the feeling that is coming up. Embody the energy that is moving so that it can release. So why embodiment? As I said, it's to get out of here and into the body. So it's to get out of this section that we all live in. We all live in this section. It's to get out of here and down into the body, really rooting into our beautiful vessel that we have. Sometimes it's even about bringing the soul back into the body. It's about bringing the feelings that we want to have in our life, like joy, happiness, pleasure. It's about bringing that into the body, embodying them, feeling them, so that we know that it's safe. So our body and our nervous system knows that it's safe for us to feel these emotions. And embodiment is all about trusting our intuitive bodies. Our vessels know what to do. They just do. And if we allow them to show us and we listen to what they have to say, they know innately what to do when to heal. Not just healing broken bones or healing skin or any physical things like that. I am talking about healing emotions, healing energy stuck in our system. They know what to do. Through doing embodiment, we fully release it out of our system. So by really expressing rage, by whatever, punching a pillow, we really do it and do it and do it and do it until we don't feel it anymore. It is no longer in our system. We have expressed it. Sometimes anxious feelings, like feeling a lot of energy and feeling that jitteriness, can be simply that we have a lot of energy in our system. So going for a run, dancing, doing something physical to get that energy out is amazing. And embodiment helps us to express what is in here out. This is where our soul is. This is where our passion is, our pleasure, our joy, our life purpose. It is all in here. And when we learn to get out of this busy mind and drop into our body, is when we truly can start to express ourselves and our soul from the inside out into the world. And that's where magic happens. What is embodiment? So as I've said, embodiment is about being in the body, in the physical body, feeling the body, feeling the emotions that are happening in the body. Sometimes it can be as simple as a gentle touch. As I said, sometimes it's a raging pillow punching session. You could be screaming. It's about feeling all of the senses, being in the senses of the body, especially the touch, the sound, the movement. So touch, sound, and movement are the biggest parts of embodiment. Sometimes we can have, it's an outside thing, but we can include things like essential oils and bring them in so that we can embody the joy of mandarin, or we can use Siberian fir and really smell it for generational healing. So it's all about embodiment, being in the body, using the senses. It's about embodying the energy. So as I said, bringing the joy in, bringing the pleasure in. If you are not used to feeling joyful because you've had such a hard time, you've had such a dark night of the soul or the womb, and you're just used to feeling that murky veil, darkness, it's about embodying that energy we want to bring in. We want to feel joy. So what does joy feel like in our bodies? How can we bring that so that our body recognizes it and feels safe to have it in our vessel? It's about embodying archetypes. There are so many different archetypes. There's the mother, there's the child, there's the father, there's the hero, there's the healer. There are different goddesses and gods. There is so many different archetypes that you could embody. And this is amazing for if you have to go and do a speech. I know this isn't about healing, or maybe it can be healing. If you're a very nervous person, very anxious person to even step outside your door, then you could embody a superhero. Our daughter loved, when she was having a lot of anxiety and going through a lot of panic attacks, she loved to embody Superwoman, and she would stand in a pose that made her feel strong and powerful, and she would do her deep breaths, and she would imagine, what does it feel like to be Wonder Woman? What does it feel like to be courageous, to be able to just step out into the world and be who you are and show yourself? So it's all about also embodying archetypes, which we work through and we talk about during the healing sessions. They can be used, embodiment can be used to release what's no longer serving us. Maybe there's a relationship that we're attached to emotionally. We can release that through embodiment. Maybe there is generational trauma or ancestral trauma that we're holding on to. You know, maybe we feel like we have to work really, really, really hard and be busy all the time to be successful, because that's what our generations did, that's what our ancestors did. They had to work really hard to live. But we don't need to do that anymore. We don't need to work really hard to live. So we're really pushing ourselves so hard that we're burning ourselves out, getting sore, we're creating dis-ease in our bodies. We don't need that. So releasing that releasing the need to work really hard through embodiment. So what would that look like? It would look like embodying slowing down, embodying softness. How can I do that? Maybe I can have a bath. Maybe it's simply just sitting, taking some deep breaths and giving yourself a cuddle, reassuring yourself it's okay. You don't have to be busy right now. It can also be used to manifest what we desire. What would it feel like if you were driving that car that you dream of having? What would it feel like? What would it sound like if it's a car that has a really revving engine? What would that feel like through your body? What would that vibration feel like? What would that give you? And embodying that almost as though you have it already, and that gives you that drive to go and put it into action so you can manifest it. So how do we do embodiment? I know that's going to be a big question. So first off, we recognize what's happening in our body. We become emotionally intelligent. Maybe something's coming up a little bit and you're like, oh, what is that? And then you go, I don't want to deal with that. I'm going to go to my things that help me mask that. TV, food, drink, smoking, whatever it is that is something that you do. Exercise can even be something that's quite unhealthy, and people can be doing it to get that rush of endorphins and feel good, but it can start to go into that unhealthy scale of exercise where they're just doing it to get that rush of feel good hormones, right? But it's all about recognizing what's happening. So say you have been in an argument with your partner and some feelings of not being heard come up, feelings of not being seen. How do you deal with that? How do you embody that? So taking that time to embody it, recognizing what is happening in the body and allowing yourself to feel it and doing what your body wants to do, moving in the way that your body wants to do, right? So I want to take you on an emotional tour, and we're going to do that now. So if you have time, go along with me. If you don't and you're listening to this or watching this while you're doing something else, I really, really encourage you to come back and listen to it and watch it when you have full commitment, and do this emotional tour so you can kind of get a feel of what I'm talking about in the body. We're going to embody this, okay? So I want you to sit or stand with a bit of room around you so you have room to move. Just move my drink bottle. And what we're going to do is drop into the body and feel a couple of emotions, see how they feel in our body, how our body reacts, and go from there. So you can close your eyes if you want to. This helps to really drop in and block out the outside. So closing down the eyes, I want you to imagine there's like a big pot in front of you. Now, first of all, we're going to just take a couple of deep breaths and recognize how it feels to notice our breath intentionally. So we're going to take a big breath into the belly, softening the belly. Allow that belly to soften, and then out. Feeling the breath going in through the nose. What does it feel like as it fills your lungs? How do you react when you breathe out, softening and relaxing all the muscles? And breathing in again into the nose. Again, noticing the sensation. Is it cool as it comes in? And breathing out. And noticing how warm the breath is as you breathe out, because your beautiful vessel has warmed your breath. Coming back to that big pot that's in front of you. this is a big pot of joy. Taking notice, and the liquid inside is starting to bubble, and it's bubbling joyfully, playfully. It has that innocence to it. Taking notice of what colour this pot is. What colour is joy to you? To me, it is yellow, like a beautiful sunflower yellow. And it's bubbling away. And what I want you to do is put your fingers into the pot. And we're going to move our fingers joyfully, like the bubbles. How do they move when they're moving joyfully? Then we're going to start bringing that into our body, moving the arms and shoulders. You want to move your head, moving your body, moving your torso, moving your hips. How does it feel to be joyful? Maybe you want to bring some sound. Maybe you want to laugh a little like I am. Because maybe it feels a little bit silly and it just makes you feel joyful like a kid again. Oh. Okay, now we're just going to bring back some stillness. Noticing how we feel light, bubbly, and joyful. Now I want to bring in the feeling of grief. Where do you feel that? Right now I feel it right up on my chest, in between my throat. It's almost like that lump in my throat. Where do you feel grief? And what does it feel like to you? Recognizing that. Maybe you can feel those tears right there on your eyes. You feel like they want to come through. And it's okay if you want to let some through right now. Letting the tears through is that part of embodiment. Embodying that grief so that it can come out and it can move and release. And just start tapping where you can feel that grief. And letting your body know that you're safe. It's safe to feel this. It's safe to let it go. Maybe you want to do some breathing to help shift this grief. Imagining it leaving your body. Maybe you want to make some sound with it. Whatever you need to do right now, do it. Still tapping. I am safe. It is safe. I am safe. It is safe. I am safe. It is safe. And now we don't want to hold on to that emotion or that energy. So we're just going to shake it out. Shake it out. Shake the body. Shake it off. Now I want to embody and bring the awareness to rage. Where do you feel that? I really feel it in my head, in my face. You know the saying, hot-headed? Yup, that is how I'm feeling it in my fists. I just want to... Feeling that, embodying it, allowing yourself to go there. What does that feel like in your body? Allowing yourself to, yell, scream, growl if you need to. Really get in there and do it properly and feel it. Gritting the teeth is something that feels like needs to come through as rage for me. And now we're just gonna soften any area that we felt that rage. Take a couple of breaths, blowing it out. Again, we don't want to hold on to this emotion, so we're going to shake it out. So shaking your body, give it a shake. Okay, now to end this, I want to bring the emotion of pleasure. What does this feel like in your body? How does pleasure feel to you? Recognizing, is there comfort? Do you feel pleasurable easily? Or is there some guilt that then comes up with this word, or some shame? And these are other emotions that can be embodied to shift and heal, but bringing in some pleasure. What do you feel like you need to do? Maybe you want to just bring some soft touch, letting your body know that you love your body and it is safe to feel good and feel pleasure. Allowing yourself to just touch and embodying that. Maybe you need to breathe a bit. Maybe you want to moan a little. What is that pleasure? And we're going to keep that emotion. So we're going to end that on feeling pleasurable. You may open your eyes. That is the end of our emotional tour. So that is a quick embodiment tour just to show you what it means to be in the body. How do you feel now? Now you've opened your eyes, how do you feel? Do you feel that there's a bit of softness? Do you feel that there's lightness? Do you feel in your body? It is such a tremendous feeling that is very hard to describe once you are out here and you are in your body. It's almost like a clear channel. You've come home, it's clear, and it is grounded into the body. And it feels so good. So how do we do this, and how do we integrate the healing and embodiment at home? Doing this at home can feel quite daunting, and we can all often put it off. Again, we don't want to deal with it. It's too hard. Don't want to deal with it. So we keep busy and we do other stuff. So to do it at home, I really recommend setting up a safe space. Maybe that's your bedroom, maybe it's a spare bedroom, garage, wherever you feel safe to truly let go, to go there, to feel it. We can't go over our emotions, we can't go under them, we can't go over or under the energy. We have to go through it. To get through it, we have to go through it. So finding somewhere that's a safe place that you can really go there, really let go, release. Somewhere that you feel that you can do that. You need to communicate your needs. If you live with other people, you need to communicate your needs. I need half an hour to myself so I can shift I need half an hour to myself so I can feel good, I can feel happy, I can feel joy. Don't come into the room. I'm locking the door. Don't let other people come in. Just communicating what you need. Can you leave the house even? Can you leave the house for half an hour? Asking a friend or family member to be a safe person. If you really feel like you can't go there and you need somebody there to be there and hold that space for you, asking someone to be that person. If you think that, you know, maybe the sadness that you're feeling is going to be too much and overbearing and you just can't do it without having somebody there, find somebody to do that with. Just to be there, just to sit in that space with non-judgment. Maybe you'll be more willing to let go and release if you know that somebody is there or nearby that can catch you if you feel like you've fallen too far or you can't come back and you are so inconsolable that you can't come back. Having that safe person. Be easy on yourself during the integration phase. After healing, as I said, a lot of emotions can come up, a lot of blockages can come up. So allowing yourself to process, allowing yourself to integrate that healing into the body, into your life. If you get upset because something's flared up, maybe it's a physical ailment, maybe if you have anxiety, the anxious feelings have become exasperated. Whatever happens, just be gentle on yourself. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't feel like you're a failure. Don't feel like the healing didn't work. It is working. It is doing what it's supposed to. And organising your life to allow the integration. If you know you're going for a healing, before that session, think about how you could do food prep. Maybe you can have dinner already done and it only has to be heated that night so that you can have the rest of the day to be slow and gentle with yourself. Maybe you have the breakfast prepared for the next day so that you can sleep in that little bit longer, that when your body needs that sleep to integrate the healing process. Doing food prep is amazing for healing. It just gives us that little bit more time to do what we need to do. If we need to do an embodiment session, we can do it without going, oh, but I've got to go and make dinner, and I've got to go and do this, I've got to go and do that. So making sure that you can clear your schedule as best you can. So bringing in an organisation around your healing is really helpful. Thank you for being here, and I hope this helps with your future healing sessions. I hope that it gets some clarity on what's happening after healing sessions, and this can happen during any healing session. It could happen during and after a Bowen session, acupressure, acupuncture, massage. Massage can shift energy and emotions as well. So after any healing, it is really important to give yourself that time, be gentle with yourself, try not to be judgmental of yourself, and communicating to family and friends what you're going through, asking them to be there for you if you need, and organising your life in a way that you can really put time aside for you. Food prep, maybe you prep food for like a whole week, I don't know, whatever feels easy for you. Maybe you have a calendar and you can schedule in at this time, I will self-care, ... Maybe that's a bath, maybe it's an embodiment session, maybe it is automatic writing. Whatever it is, being able to have that in your schedule so that you know at that time, I have half an hour to fully commit to this healing process. So thanks for being here. If you don't already, you can find me over on YouTube, Facebook or Instagram, and you can come and join us at Cosmic Feminine Connection. There is an app on my website, or you can come and join us on the Facebook group. And I look forward to working with you more, and thank you so much for joining. I hope this brings you a lot of clarity and a lot of comfort knowing that you're not the only one that has weird things come up after healings. Sending you lots of love. Bye for now.